Hello, Internet. Welcome to the stream. In this stream, I'm going to be tackling my pile of shame a little bit. I figured we could potentially do this semi-regularly, whether that be once a week, once every 2 weeks, because whilst I am painting stuff specifically for the channel, I've got loads of other stuff that just doesn't get painted, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to do so. So what I'm going to do is going to start by popping over to the poll that I posted on here on YouTube a little while ago. I just checked the Instagram one and it was standing at 1 vote each and then 1 for Nurgle in terms of what we are going to be painting. So, posts, there we go, channel content posts, poll. Let's have a look. Okay, so there were 7 votes, and Dark Angels and Nurgle are tied at the moment. But given that Nurgle was in the lead over on Instagram, it looks like we're going to be painting those. So as you can see here, I've actually got some models prepared just in case. Well, just in case. No, I've got some models prepared for each of the options I put on the poll. So let me just move my mouse. We had a Croxigore here, who the base has already been done. I did put a poll on the channel recently about which Seraphon model I should paint next. And this guy or the Slan, which I've got over here actually. Yeah, they are tied in terms of the vote at the moment. But I'm thinking I'm just going to go for the Slan because personal preference of the two. If they're tied, I'm going to pick. Unless you haven't voted yet, go and vote on the poll, I guess. But at the moment, it's looking like I'm probably going to paint the Slan because look at him, he's glorious. And we've got the Snake with Wings, and the Snake with Wings. Oh, my face is covering that. The Snake with Wings is one of the best things ever on a model. I'm going to call him Steve. Steve the Winged Snake. So yeah, that was the option for the Seraphon. The corporate score was up for the live stream as I'm potentially, well, probably going to paint that for the video instead. Tyranids, we have some primed Hive Guard. I've got 3 of these guys that just haven't been painted. They were built like almost 2 years ago. Just haven't painted them. So they need painting. And as I am working through the Leviathan box at the moment and painting everything in High Fleet Kraken, it would have been a good opportunity to do that. For the Dark Angels, we had this Lieutenant that came out a while ago. I think it was only available with the Imperium magazine, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a very cool model, and I added all the greens and stuff recently when I was airbrushing the, I don't know what they're called, the Space Marines of all the flamers from Leviathan. I did all of those at the same time for the green armour. And yes, I know I'm going a lot brighter than you perhaps should for Dark Angels, because they are meant to be dark, but I really don't like it. I like vibrancy, and I know that it means they're more in line with the, oh damn, what are they called? Lizards. Lizard, some type of lizard. I've completely forgotten what the green Space Marines are called. I keep thinking axolotl, and that's definitely not. Salamander. Salamanders, yeah, it's more in line with the salamanders, this type of green. But I just much prefer this over the really dark green of the Dark Angels, so that's why I've done that. We're going to pop him there. And I figured as our Nurgle miniature, we could potentially paint one of the brothers of the Glotkin. Now, I could paint the massive Glotkin, because I have already started him. But I wanted something smaller to work on than that. So we have landed with him. Now, this guy has some proper disgusting skin. And looking at it now, there are some gaps that I should have filled that I don't actually want to paint. Yeah, that's a problem. Let me have a look see what the state of the other brother is like. Okay. Right, the flesh on this guy is much better, so I think we'll go with him. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Off you go. Oh, pop you over there on my little side table. And then this guy. I think I'm going to need to re-prime him. It was the first time I ever used ink through my airbrush doing this guy. It's come out horribly, as you can see. Really weirdly patchy. Yeah, I might just give him another coat of white quickly. And then we can start. That's not going to be enough blue tack for him. Let me know in either the chat or if you're watching this afterwards, the comments, what you think of this setup in general, the stream, because I've only done it a couple of times before and they were fine, but I'd like to make it like actually good. So if you've got any hot tips, let me know. Well, I'm going to get the airbrush out for this thing. Now, I'm a bad boy because I'm not going to put on my respirator for this because I'm only going to do a little bit. Right, what we're going to do is I think we're going to just use normal white paint rather than primer. Just give them a quick blast from above. There we go. Get some flow improver. Put a little bit in there. Did I shake that? Can't remember. Let's give it another shake. You know what? I'm finding myself moving my hands over here quite a bit. I think I'm going to move my little head. Oh no, I've moved the whole window. Yeah. Right, we're going to move my face over there. Okay. How does that look? Is that better? It's still a little bit out of the frame, isn't it? Right, there we go. Is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. And now you'll be able to see my hands more. Right. Let's pop a bit of the white paint in with the flow improver, just a drop, because we don't want much. I haven't bought any water in, aside from the stuff I'm going to be drinking. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? So I'm going to share my water. There we go. Right, just going to damp my brush because I don't know if it really makes a difference, but I don't like using a dry brush. Well, actually, I love dry brushes. Okay, this is going to be a problem, isn't it? I've got my phone plugged in to charge it whilst we're doing this. It's resting right up against the water cup. So it keeps moving. So I'm going to move the water cup, have it there. Somewhere I never usually have it, but for the sake of this. Okay, right. Let's give him a quick blast. Now, you might be wondering, okay, I'm going to put it on mute just whilst the compressor is going. Okay, the air compressor has now stopped, so I can put the audio back on. The video freezing sometimes. I am afraid that's probably just due to my not so good internet connection. And there's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. Because my internet router, whatever you want to call it, is on the middle floor and I'm on the bottom floor. It just doesn't stretch that well. Yeah, so sorry about that. I will try and look into how I can improve that for the next one. Can't promise anything, I'm afraid. Right, so looking at this guy, I think we're going to go for obviously some sickly flesh, and I think that might be what I focus on today, looking at purples and greens and stuff. I might get my Lord of Plagues, King of Blights. I don't know, they've all got the same name. I'll get him out quickly because I really like what I did with the skin on that model. I think it might be good to focus on that. Like, try to replicate it. So looking at this guy, I love the skin. I absolutely love the skin. This is the model that launched me into doing Nurgle in the first place. And we are going to try and replicate it, but I have no recollection of how I did it, annoyingly. Hello, Galan! Why you must always go live when I have to go. Damn. Have a good painting session. Thank you very much. Thank you. And let me know what times you're available and I can try and schedule it a bit better, I suppose. Yeah, we're going to try and replicate this skin, I think. Looks as though this guy's taking a little while to dry, but that's okay. I need to go fill this up because that's a ridiculous amount of water. I'll be back in a second. Now, let's see if this Be White back screen works. I'm quite excited to be using this new software. So, let's see. Oh, it worked. Okay, see you in a second. Hello, I'm back. Maybe lower the video quality. Yeah, okay. Let's have a little look. This is my first time dealing with all this stuff, like through this software. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, I'm going to see if I can fix some stuff out. Use buffering, would that be good or not? I feel like this is going to be very unentertaining if I'm just sat here trying to figure out how to make the video quality any better. Oh, output. Video bitrate. What the hell does that mean? So amateur. Video. Output resolution. Okay, so we could drop the resolution a little bit. See what happens there? I'm going to go down by a little bit. Fastest but blurry of scaling. Sharpen scaling 16 sample. I have no idea what any of this means. Okay, dropping the resolution a tiny bit. Hopefully that makes a difference. But I have no idea if it's going to, so. Okay, let's go with the mouse. And the blue tag, don't need that anymore. So this guy still looks a little wet. He is. It's the first time in ages I actually used the hairdryer for what it's meant for today, because I had a shower and washed my hair, so I was like, I'm actually going to dry my hair. It's the first time it's left my office in weeks. Should have left it in here, so I can just quickly drop. Screw it. I'm going to go get it. Enjoy that Be White back screen again. See you in a sec. We're dry. We can actually paint now. We are 24 minutes in and I haven't painted a single thing. Right. So, I'm thinking I'm going to get really messy with undertones and stuff. Purples, greens, all that kind of stuff before putting on any actual flesh tones. Hello, Ed James. Welcome to the stream, and I'm sorry if the video sucks, because I've been told it's a bit poopy at the moment. How's that? Yeah, it's a good little setup, isn't it? Okay, so we are going to... This is a mix of purple and green here. I might just start by using that. Use what's already on the palette. Now, what was this being used for? Oh, this is being used for... Come here. Yeah. This model, which is a commission I'm doing for a client in the US. He sent me this turtley dude, turtley tortoise, and I started the base coats of the skin in this purple green shade. Because everyone knows if I'm doing green, I love to use some purple, because I'm a creature of habit. So I'm just going to really messily chuck these into some shadows and stuff, I think. Why is the paint settled on it so weirdly? Look, it's got loads of... I don't know if you can see this. It's got loads of strange, like, circles. Right. Anyway, the skin is either opened or stretched. Going to apply it there. Want more water down on that, actually. It's all around these horrible gaping wounds on the front. All around that. I just want to check something. Because I'm not sure how the stream is performing for you guys. Like just how bad it is. So what I'm just quickly doing is swapping to one of my, well, my personal YouTube account, so that I can check to see how the stream is going, if it looks any good or if it is really, really bad. Gonna mute it to prevent any weird feedback. What I'm just quickly doing is swapping to one of my... Doesn't seem too bad. If it looks any good or if it is really, really bad. Gonna mute it. It's quite jumpy, isn't it? Alright, sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'll try and figure out how to make it better next time. But for now, I'm just going to do some painting. So, as I said, we're going to focus on the areas around any open sores or anything, which on this model is kind of everywhere. Which I guess is the case for most Nurgle models. It's kind of the nature of Nurgle, isn't it? To just have open wounds everywhere. So... I feel like I need music or something. Something to make the silence less seem weird. Seem less weird. That's the correct way to say that sentence. I'm not going to bother around here. These are going to be more yellowy areas where all the big spots and stuff are. Just in the centre where all the skin is obviously quite damaged. That's where we're going to put all these purples on this truly disgusting guy. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, next I want to start doing some greens, but I'm not entirely sure what green to use. What's this? Strachan green. That's kind of gross, right? Do some of that. Just going to put a dollop on the palette. A tiny bit on brush. Now, I might, whilst this is still wet, I might start mixing this in to the purple areas. Because, like really horrible bruises, they often have a few different shades in them, rather than just being a flat purple or something. They normally have orangey, greeny centres. I'm saying all this knowing I'm completely just talking out my butt, because I'm colourblind and can't be certain that those are the colours that are used. So, let's see. Good morning. Oh, Florida. Hello, Jean Batar. Good morning, I guess. Have a nice breakfast if you have breakfast, and enjoy your morning. Thank you for joining me. And as I've said to the others who have commented so far, I'm sorry for the poor video quality. I haven't quite figured this out yet. It's my first proper time doing it. We are painting this Nurgly guy, working on a flesh, and I've kind of lost myself as to where to go next. I need pallid witch flesh. That grossness is wonderful. Get some of that down, start applying some washes, get really messy. Gonna go down to bed and make some coffee. Nice. How do you take your coffees? Milk or nah? This is how I store my paints at the moment. Since I moved from the old house, I used to have paint racks and stuff, but they were really cracked and whatnot. So I was like, oh, I'll throw those away and I'll get new ones when I move. Still haven't gone. So I'm just living out of a carrier bag. But it is a Warhammer carrier bag, so that's good. What's this? Gauze Blaster Green. That's nice and pale. We'll get that out. I hate doing this. Rakoth Flesh. Use that. I don't think this has been opened. No, man. It looks great. I'm enjoying this. Oh, thank you. Did you enjoy me trying to do some kind of accent? It was unintentional. Bit of milk, good. Yeah, I used the paint on the second floor, right? Yes. Yes, I did. It is a good bag. Oh, this sounds so watery. It's a base colour. Why is it sounding that wet? It looks alright. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Cool. We're not here to we're not here to see me paint. You're not good at that. Make me laugh. I don't know how I do that, I'm afraid. I'm just being myself, so you're kind of just laughing at me, which is... I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm joking, obviously. I don't care. Well, that looked great. Right. Still not as pale as I want it, but I can't be bothered to look for the pallid wood flesh. Let's mix in this Gauze Blaster green and make a really off green flesh tone. That's a good idea. This is what it's like when I'm filming for my YouTube videos. I don't know what I'm doing. I start painting, figure it out as I go, and then when it comes to actually making a video, I pretend I know what I've done. In reality, I've just made it all up. That don't look bad, does it? Yeah, let's start chucking some of that on. Now, I might avoid... I think I'm going to partially avoid the areas that I've already put that greeny purple on. Just go right up to the edge. And then I can really messily wet blend it. Oh, this is a horrible area. Okay, I am actually quite happy with this weird skin tone that we've come up with. Because it is horrible. And I like the fact that I'm not going to make note of the colours I'm using to get this skin tone. So that when it comes to painting his brother and all that, it'll be completely different. I mean, it'll probably still be in a similar kind of realm, but it'll be different enough that there's a bit of variety. This is a really horrible colour. Good. Right. Let's dab some of this purple back in. See, I'm just doing small circular movements. Nothing tidy, making it really messy. I think this is quite important for me, when I'm painting organic subjects like this. I really like to jump between the paints rather than having a really regimented thing. I just think it makes it look nice and gross. Oh, there's a big blob of water on the brush. Now, is this an exposed leg, or... Nah, he wouldn't be wearing trousers, would he? Let's paint the leg as well, then. Maybe I should have put this colour down everywhere to begin with before applying that pinky colour. Yeah, I think I might do that. I'm going to get a nice even coat of this. Okay. Nice and gross. You can see I'm not really being very careful with the brush. This is just a really cheap synthetic one. So I'm not being very precious with it. There's a hair on there. Excellent. I'm going to leave this thing. I'm not going to paint that in a fleshy colour because I think it'll end up being a red. How much phone battery we've got? 84%. That's alright. Doing pretty well. Now these two paints I've used to make this colour are quite thin. So this is going to take a couple coats, I think. On the back it's starting to look pretty good because I'd already done a fairly solid coat around here. No, leave that leg for now, put some on the other leg. That is a bit of a pain, that area. But that's alright, don't have to be neat because you're never going to see that part. Looks like he's got some ooze here coming from his weenus. So that's good. An oozy weenus. For those of you that are unaware, weenus is the word for the bit of skin on your elbow. Okay, I quite like this tone. Very pale. It's already got a bit of green in it. So that's good too. I can't quite understand what's going on over here. I think it's all lumps of flesh. Right, I'm going to quickly use the hairdryer on it. Yeah, it's dry enough to continue. Okay, looking nice and gross. I think now we start to introduce the washes. We'll primarily focus on washes for this, I think. Let's go with Carabao Crimson, trusted favourite. Where is Seraphim Sepia? There it is. And Magos Purple. Yes, these three I'm going to use in conjunction to try and get some really gross spots, I think. Now the question is, should I base coat all of these spots and holes? Someone's car alarm's going off. Some, like the wounds and stuff, should I base coat all of those first or leave them? I'm thinking potentially base coat them now, because then when I wash them, it'll enrich the borders of each piece. So I'm going to do that. Spots. Oh dear. Spots, base coat with Care Orange. That is my go-to. There we go. Okay. Let's pick out some of the spots and zits and pustules, whatever you want to call them. Now, the recipe, I guess, I normally use for my pustules is Chikara orange washed with Seraphim sepia, highlighted with Towelite ochre, and then a final highlight of a bone colour. That comes from the back of a Tyranids box on how to paint the adrenal glands. Is that what they're called? I think that's what they're called. Yeah, that's where I got that from. And I think it works really well on all the pustules. It's kind of what I use for basically any orange. I use it for the orange parts of my orc armour as well. The tip of my brushes. Can you see that? I ain't going to focus on that, is it? Ooh, no, it's not going to focus. The tip of the brush is split. Like I said, these are just cheap synthetics. They've been bashed about quite a lot. Yes, they are red, James. Yeah, they are. They're print on demand. So those t-shirts, you can get it on a laptop bag, sticker, a tote bag. You can get it on whatever. The link is in the description of all of my videos, just under t-shirts. But if you want one, I can quickly get the link for you. It's from a website called TeePublic, which you may have heard of before. I've used it for quite a while, back when I kickstarted my deck of Paleo playing cards that I created. I then put all of the playing card designs on there so that you could get them on a t-shirt as well. Right, as there aren't as many objects on the skin, not as many open wounds or pustules on his back, I think I'm going to use quite a lot of washes to really force some tonal variation back here. Now you get some spots like that where it's an open hole or something in his chest, and it's so smooth inside. I'm not sure if it's a sunken pustule or is it just an ordinary hole in the skin? Yeah, because that's completely normal. But you know what I mean? Or is it just a wound of some kind, and should it therefore be painted red? I think as there's a pustule right here, I will make it just a wound, so that you have different things and different colours to focus on. Oh, there are a couple on his neck. Oh, this so small. There's one right up there. I should probably be wearing my glasses for this. Oh, they're there. Okay, I will wear my glasses. Right, that's the pustules base coated. I think now I will move on to base coating the open wounds and sores. Pustules is such a fun word to say. Right, we're going to use whatever pink I have on my table. Do I have a pink on my table? This one I'm really grateful that most colours have it written on there. I just picked up a green thinking it was pink. Bloody broken eyes. Fist on red's a bit too rich. Is this all we've got? Have we only got pink horror? Where's... Oh, I can't remember the name of the pink. It's another Citadel one. It's really dark. Can I be bothered to search through my bag of pinks? No. Well, let's just use this. Pink horror. Ooh! He attached himself to me. Now, this is lighter than I want it to be. So, I'm hoping that when it comes to washes and all that, it will darken it down quite a bit. No, I'm not hoping. I will make it darken it down. Yeah. There's a hole there. See, I find that this is the trickiest bit about painting Nurgle miniatures, is making sure you don't miss any of the holes or lumps and bumps, because there were so many. And I personally find them quite easy to accidentally miss. Just having a second look. I think we're good on this side. Let's turn them over. Ooh, quite a lot on his leg. Think we're about done with the pink for now. See, normally, if it was a different colour, around this part of the arm, you can see through to the primer. That was a lot darker than the colour I've ended up using. You can't see that it is black, you can just see that it's darker. Normally I'd apply a second coat of that base colour. However, being Nurgle, I think it really adds to the sickliness of the skin, so I'm going to keep it. Right, I'm going to start with sweat. Where do you think sweat's going to gather? All of the rolls, all of the folds. So we're going to be applying Surf and Sepia, because that is a yellowy wash, and I think yellowy washes are good for sweat marks. So we're going straight into the folds. And I've got quite a lot on my brush. I'm not messing about. I'm going to put it on all of the spots as well. What spots we just painted. Maybe under those straps. See, whilst I'm doing this, I'm noticing more holes. Things I missed. I was going to do it. No. Well, there's quite a bit in there. We'll take some of that away. apply it to the bottom half of this bottom roll on the back. I'm going to basically do it all over this arm because of all the spots. And then in there. Now, something I really like about painting Nurgle miniatures is you can be as messy as you want. Oh, mustn't forget the legs, which I almost did. Wind in there. Starting to look nice and horrible, isn't he? Just what we want. Nice horrible boy. So like I said, anyway, I think sweat's going to gather. So that is literally at any point, something joins another thing. Okay. I think that's all right. Now I'm going to close that. And I'm not going to wait for it to dry. I'm going to start applying some other wash colours as well. Because I think applying them while they're wet is a good idea, because if any overlap, they'll mix, which can create quite a nice effect. Right, now the red, I'm going to focus on the spots that have burst, all the wounds, and any open sores, basically. So that instantly darkens them. They're a bit too dark up there, so I'm going to wick away some of that. This area in general is going to be washed in a mix of reds and purple, I think, to really show how bruised that flesh is. Now, right there, it's quite a hard edge. So I'm going to get a bit of water on my brush. Just dab it about. Dab it at where the wash ends, and then it kind of just mixes in, which is nice. It's a form of blending for washes. The wash around the neck doesn't run all the way up. So you're going to need to add a little bit more. Because it kind of just stops, which isn't right. Put some of there, put some of there. Okay, now onto the back. Some wounds up here. Like I said, just applying this red wash to all of the open wounds and obvious open sores, stuff like that. And again, there's a hard edge down there, so I'm going to get a bit of water on my brush just to blend it into the open area. Does it mean it will take longer to dry? Yes, absolutely. Does it have a smoother blend? Yes. Yes, it does. I think I might just use some water on the arm here because the sepia wash has gathered a bit too neatly. Now, obviously, we want it to make sense where we're putting these colours, but do try to be random with it. Like I say, it has to make sense, but don't put too strong a set of guidelines in front of you, because otherwise it's not going to look organic, which is exactly what we want from a gross thing like this. It's going from orange to red and a pretty sharp transition. We're going to start applying some purples. Purple now to... But this is going to be a proper mix of where this is being applied to. I'm going to do it anywhere that looks particularly stretched for bruising purposes. And this is quite a light, not a light purple. The paint itself is very transparent because it's contrast paint. So there we go. Going to do loads around here because there's proper weird stuff going on with the skin around here. You might notice that I'm really jabbing, like making short jabbing motions with my brush. That's because I don't really want a smooth finish when doing this kind of thing. I want it to look messy. Messy looks natural, so that's what we're going for. I think that's pretty good on the front. I might now... Yeah, just going to put some purple on the back, and then I think I'm going to move on to starting to apply some highlights to the skin to bring back the skin colour a bit rather than just the oranges, reds and purples. So I'm going to put some purples in here to make it look like the chainmail is really digging into the skin, bruising it a bit. Could do the same with that leather because that leather's definitely digging in. Oh, that's far too much. That's far too much purple. Let's flick some of that away. We'll use it down here. And down here. Okay. I think I'm kind of happy with where this is at the moment. So I'm going to get the hairdryer out, give it a blast to dry those washes a bit, and then, you know, hello, me no stupid. You're not stupid, no. Finally called to stream. I haven't done one in, I think, a year or so now. So pretty good. Right. Ooh. Just going to mute the chat while I use the hairdryer. Not the chat. Mute the video whilst I use the hairdryer so that you're not having your ears blasted off. And So, tried it a bit. There's still a lot of moisture in some of the recesses where I allowed it to pool quite a bit, but that's fine because they're not the areas I'm going to be highlighting, obviously. Going to be highlighting the more upward facing areas. Just checking something on my computer quickly. And then I will get on to highlighting the skin, and I need to decide if I'm going to highlight it using a skin colour or if I'm going to go back to that mix of green and black earth flesh. I'm undecided at the moment, so we shall see. Okay. Okay. Right. Looking at it, I think what I'm going to do is talk until an idea comes to me. I feel like I've got to find Pallid Witch Flesh. I'm going to have to look in my bag of paints again. Stupid bag of paints. What's this? This looks horrible. Screaming Skull. Tyrant Skull. That's a dry paint. I have only ever used it once. Oh, what's this? Pallid Witch Flesh. Let's go. Okay. Shake, 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 shake. So, as I've got this, I might mix it into Rakarth Flesh, as that was the base for the skin tones. Start highlighting with that. Although, given how washed everything is, might go Rakarth Flesh first. Yes, that looks nice and lumpy. We'll use that. Excellent. Right, we need more of the Rakarth Flesh. What did I do with that? Getting to see just how disorganised I am. Here we go, Rakarth Flesh, got it. Clean my bush. Move the palette over if you want to see it. Move it up there so you can see it. Yeah, sure. Okay. Rakarth Flesh, Pallid Witch Flesh. Gonna mix them up, I think. See what happens. We're gonna start with a tiny... Oh, there's way too much water on the brush. We're going to start with a tiny amount of Pallid Witch Flesh mixed in. I quite like that colour as a highlight. So I'm going to use some of that. I'm going to wipe that off a little bit. Too wet. Yeah, okay. Right, I'm going to start just popping this on the raised areas just to bring back a bit of definition to the skin after having done so much washing. Especially on large areas like this. Now, it might look like I am undoing all the work that I've just done, and I may potentially be doing that. But when it comes to painting Nurgle, I really do work in quite a lot of layers, because I think it gets you that nice, well, I say nice, that disgusting feel. I think that's how you achieve it. So I think that looks pretty good. You got the undertones of the washes and stuff coming up through this tiny bit of flesh here. Oh, we're focusing on the palette rather than the model, sorry. Again, I'm not being super neat with this. It's a messy army. We're going to get messy with it. So he is very loose on a blue tack all of a sudden. Let's push him down. Now, neck rolls. Make sure not to go on the spots that we painted. See, by returning this, the most raised areas, to the original skin colour, it makes the crevices really look like they are sweaty. When it comes to painting an area like this, where there's a bit of a fold and I don't want to be painting right in the recess, I'll pull the paint away from the darkest area, because then the pigment is more likely to settle further away, which is obviously what we want. Just going to add a few dots down here. Yeah. Yeah, I really feel like there should be some royalty-free music going on. Because I feel like it's incredibly boring when I start to concentrate. Okay, I'm quite happy with how it's looking on the front. I've completely forgotten to paint his hand on this axe. Sickle. Axicle. Yeah, that's annoying. I'll come back and do that later. Right, let's go on the back. Again, we're not covering everything. Want to leave some of the tones we've created before, but it's just to redefine shapes. I have a feeling the back is going to end up looking better than the front, which is really annoying. Not even going to go all the way around with the leg. I might do some patches down here, just stipple it on. But I'm not going to do a smooth transition. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to mix in a bit more of that pallid witch flesh. See how this looks. Going to start being a bit more directed with this now. So not just doing it to all the areas, but really the places that we want to be highlighting. Okay, that's really annoying. This paint is too watery and it's just flowing into all the crevices. So, wet my brush, pull out what I can with the water, let it soak it up. Let's get some new, where have I put it? I've already lost it. Right there. Let's get some new pallid witch flesh. And mix it with some new Rackar flesh, predominantly pallid witch flesh. Bish bash bosh. And this time we will keep a better eye on how much water is on the brush, because if there is too much water on the brush and you mix paints, when you go to actually apply the paint to the model, it just flows off and it ruins things. So don't want that. But it appears as though both these paints are actually pretty watery. Focusing on the model or the palette. Let it be the model, please. What I might do here, because it's such a large area, I'm going to do this line. That's where I want the highlight to be. And then get some of that mix from before. Just dab it around the edge of that line to create a bit of a smoother transition between the two colours, and that's fine. What are your favourite content creators? Okay, when it comes to the hobby, my favourite content creators are Love Squidmar, I think it's great. Miniac loves. I really, really like Scott's work. I think his videography is amazing, as well as the actual painting. I think he just makes genuinely entertaining videos, and not necessarily in terms of script writing and stuff, although he is very good at that. I mean, the camera work is really cool. And in that vein, I'm going to go with 52 Miniatures as well. I think Alex on that channel does amazing videography. Yeah, it's lovely stuff over there. I also really like Ninjon, Zumakito. I think he's a awesome chap. I really like the painting phase. Their podcast is that and Trapped Under Plastic get me through a lot of long painting sessions. So that's pretty cool. Also, I just think the guys on that channel are lovely. Peach, Jeff, Pat. They're all nice guys. Don't know why I said Jeff like that. Jeff. Who else in the hobby? Travarian? Is that his name? Yeah, like him. Right, in terms of outside of the hobby, look, let me pull my sleeve up. I've got, is it best that way or under here? Good mythical morning. Brett and Link. Yeah, Brett and Link have been a big part of my life for quite a long time now. Absolutely love Good Mythical Morning. They feel like my two uncles that live in America. Other than that, I don't really watch much YouTube. Yeah, if it's not miniature painting related, I don't really watch much YouTube anymore. It is mainly just those guys. Obviously, love people like Pete the Wargamer. His kit bashes are awesome, and even if I'm not watching the video, I really like listening to his voice. Black Magic Craft, I think his creativity with scenery and stuff is wonderful. MS Paints, love Dave. He's excellent. I think he's so funny, and again, his videography is amazing. Having that level of skill and then bringing it to a hobby like this, he doesn't tone it down. He remains really over the top, which I really like. He's got a few puppets and all that he frequently features on the channel, like his health and safety frog. The Halloween video they did recently was incredible. So funny. Genuinely laughing out loud whilst watching it. He's one of those channels where, like most of my YouTube is consumed whilst I'm painting. He's one of those channels where I am looking more at the screen than I am my miniature, because I just want to see what random stuff is about, like, going to happen next. So yeah, who are some of your favourite content creators? Who should I be checking out? I've definitely forgotten people, because that's what I'm like. I'm half tempted now to go onto YouTube and look to see who I'm subscribed to, because then I'll just be like, oh, them. Oh. Okay, I'm quite liking where the skin is headed at the moment. I think it's starting to come together nicely, and by that I mean horribly, which is exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want from a boy of Nuggle. Right, can I add even more Pallid Witch Flesh? We're a couple brushfuls away from only using the Pallid Witch Flesh. Now, like I said earlier, when it comes to layering on something like this, it should be organic. You should be jumping between the actual paints. I think that's the best way to get a smooth transition. Jump between. Don't apply some regimented technique to yourself. Now, this paint is just a little bit brighter than the last, and the main reason for it is just to add contrast, to push the difference between the light and the dark areas. which is what contrast means. I suppose it doesn't really get described all that often, does it? But that is what we're talking about when we're saying pushing the contrast. Want the darks to be as dark as they can be, and the lights to be as light as they can be. Within reason.